Yeah. Hey. Welcome to the network.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another edition of Welcome to the Dope Bar. I'm your host, Bla1 Hunter Knife Wonder. We got a special guest in the building, owner of Inked Barbell. This is Jennifer Abney. How you doing?
I'm great, Blaze. How are you? Thank you again for having me.
Definitely. I am so good. And man, I got me some questions. I got questions. I'm not going to be selfish and I'm going to ask questions that I understand people want to hear. But I got
Yeah.
some personal questions for myself as well. So,
Yes.
I'll dive in. I won't go to mine right away. So, I've been doing my due diligence, looking up, different things. And I don't want to just go with the cliche questions like, so how did you come up with the name? So I'm going to say, I look back, we're going to go back. So you were a long distance runner, but then life hit. You found yourself overweight, battling low self esteem, trauma, no real direction. So what was the movement, the rock bottom that made you say, I got to change my story?
Yeah. Love that question. Thank you so much. It just came down to not knowing myself anymore and just realizing, I had a plan for my life and being overweight at what I was going through emotionally in a relationship that was no longer serving me and realizing that there were so many catalysts. It just wasn't one thing. It was a
Yeah.
mindset I was stuck in a very negative place. And also the relationship that I was in at the time helped fuel that as well. So all of that together was like a huge catalyst that just was overwhelming to me. And then I realized, I couldn't do it anymore. You couldn't keep, if you keep doing the same things over and over and
Yes.
over again, you cannot accept different outcomes. It's always going to end up being the same. And a lot of us look for external validation to
Yes.
hide that from ourselves to say, oh, if I get the new job, if I get the new car, if I get the new thing, I'll feel better. And it numbs out all the pain that we're hiding internally.
Exactly.
And so for me, I just got to the place where I really had to look in the mirror and say, like, I couldn't run from it anymore. There were no more goals I could achieve. There was nothing else that was happening when I really got down to it. And I noticed how sad I was, and it was this place of I felt lost in my own life, that I didn't have control over me and myself, and not recognizing who I was, just
Yeah.
even from a goal standpoint with letting, and at the time, I let myself go. I had kind of given up a lot
Yeah.
on my life. And I just was like, well, whatever happens, happens. And so definitely got to that place. And then I discovered CrossFit and I had a workout I was invited to, and it just became this amazing experience that just ignited this like hope in me, that I was like, okay, I'm going to go do this really hard thing. And I believe in like these people that are like, you belong here, you're
Yes.
here. Even though I can tell you what, Blaze, I was so nervous and scared. To come into some place when you are overweight,
Yeah.
you aren't in shape, you don't look like the people around you. Let me just say
Exactly.
that.
Yes. Exactly.
And to have people look at me and say, like, you've got this, you can do this. I believe in you, and not to know me from anyone that's walked off the street, came in there, and to give me open arms and just say, like, hey, you're welcome here, and this is a process. And I just, I needed to hear that, I think, and I just started to
Yes.
believe it.
Man, I love that so freaking much, man. Stuff like that actually gives me hope that we have decent people on this planet still,
Yeah.
because social media lets you see all the crazy and it make you feel like there are no hope left. And what I love about hearing everything you just said is you didn't just find CrossFit. It's like you let it change you. You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? Like, what is it about weightlifting specifically that made you feel like powerful again? Like, what did the
Yeah.
barbell give you? What did the barbell, I would say, give you that the pavement never did? I would say.
Yeah. And confidence. I'll tell you that. It was just
Yeah.
the belief that like I could pick up this massive weight, and at the time it might not have been a big number, but it's learning, and weightlifting or Olympic weightlifting in general,
Yeah.
it's almost like it's like a dance, right? You have to
Hmm.
learn the specific aspects of each movement. They're not hard, but it's also not easy. You have to understand how to move your body in a certain way. So it's almost like you have to do point A, B, or C. And then once you can kind of put all the movements together, you can get to that point. But also to learn something new and then
Yeah.
say like it wasn't easy, and then to get it, was having that confidence and having a community cheer you on. I might
Yes.
have been lifting like 65 pounds, which at the time is maybe not a lot to some people, but at the
Yeah.
time I felt like, oh my gosh, like, I mean, this is huge. And, to have people so excited for you, or just see your, like, really celebrate you in every step
Yes.
of the way, it just gave me that confidence that running never did, I guess you could say.
I love that so much, man. Oh yeah, I'm having. All right, I'm going into my question now because you just hyped me up. So I live with lupus and myositis. So working out for me isn't like it is for most people, obviously, because I get with myositis, it's like a muscle degeneration disease. I get sore easy, so I can't lift as heavy. I got to the place that once I was finally cleared to work out, because I've definitely been healing since I first was diagnosed. I really got to pace myself. So for folks like me who want to get stronger with a chronic illness, like what kind of advice would you give? Because that can give me to want to keep showing up and still kind of feel empowered. Like I see that you got a good community that did it for you, but outside of just that, what advice would you give for someone like me who can't just do it regularly?
Yeah. Well, I think for one thing, get off social media. Do not compare yourself to others at all.
Yes.
If you do that, you will always feel defeated and not celebrate the amazing person and what you're going through yourself, for one
Yes.
thing. Secondly, you're going to work through something. Just be consistent. And it's
Yes.
going to be small changes, just being consistent with an incremental weight that you can do over time, and just do progressive overload. So you're just going to keep doing the same movements every week, whatever they
Yes.
are, add in some more reps, or
Yeah.
if the weight's too heavy, then you maybe want more reps versus, heavier weights, and just keep it going and realize that it is a process. There is no end point.
Yeah.
I think weightlifting or working out is a beautiful metaphor of, enjoying the journey.
Yes.
I struggle with that personally, but I think a lot of people do. You have to enjoy the journey. The process to where I've gotten today is not an overnight process. I've worked
Yes.
hard for 6+ years of doing, weightlifting. So it takes time. So I think you have to just give yourself that love and be like,
Yeah.
even if you keep a training guide and be like, I did this today and it made me feel like this. You can look back and say like, oh, I might not have lifted more on Monday, but man, those reps felt so good, or I felt good about myself, and just really encourage yourself and give yourself some, love that you need, because if no one else, you're not getting it from anywhere else, give it to
Mm-hmm.
yourself. It's very, we're such a society that looks outward for all this
Yes.
validation, and you really should appreciate and celebrate yourself, because no one else is going through your journey,
Yeah.
and you best.
I love that so much. So I would say in December, around right before Christmas time, I had like a hip injury. It wasn't like a crazy thing. Like normally with having lupus, been living with it for like 5 years now. So I'm used to out of nowhere getting sore, out of nowhere getting something that happened, an inflammation or whatever. So when the hip thing happened, I was just like, oh, in a few days it'll go away. It's just one of those things. Now I would finally, I would say, get into a place to where I felt somewhat consistent of trying to work out, but I still wasn't. Still is that same thing, a few good days happened and it's like, all right, I can calm down. So the injury happened. I also, I used to be a full-time performer, like rapping and singing and stuff like that. So every once in a while they'll call me to do like events. So someone called me to do a Christmas event. I did the event. Now I had the injury the day before, so I was feeling it. So, I took like a pain, like a BC powder or whatever, like to numb the pain so I can go on stage and do my thing. And when I perform, I'm a wild man. So I definitely paid for it. So long story short, I was out of commission. That like doctors had me bed rest type for, and maybe 3 months. So it wasn't until like the beginning of March where finally I was 100%. But from that time, I made it to all the way to 262 pounds. I hated it. I couldn't fit nothing. I hated it. I hated it. I hated it. And so I did what did I go to? I went to ChatGPT of all places, and I was like, asked for advice of what I should do. So they gave me some stuff. So I was like, all right, the routine is simple. And I was just doing the same thing, but I felt like I wasn't getting that, the results wasn't happening. TC told me about you and the possibility of this interview a little while ago. So I just copied and pasted the entire website and put it in ChatGPT. What if I implemented some of this stuff? And they kept me in the same place. And literally what you just said, consistency is the best key. Don't overdo. And since then, I've been freaking, I don't even know how much I was, 260. I think I'm 240 something now. So, and it's been really simple. And the weekend before last, I turned 40, which I don't look at, obviously. I turned 40 on that same, and I felt
29
good.
forever. We don't have you. Good.
I'm telling you, my aunt is always like 25 plus. That's what she says every time. But I felt so good, and to hear you say all the things that you said, the consistency and the don't worry about what other people think, all of that stuff. It was just confirmation for me to hear you say that, because it's been tough to do those same reps, but I have been seeing the results, and it just made me feel so much better hearing you say what you just said. It's amazing. So thank you so much.
You're welcome. And sometimes we're in that part of the journey where it's just you're doing the work, and sometimes the work isn't sexy, it's not pretty, and that's why it's good to have a coach sometimes, to have somebody like, okay, well, I'm going to point out the variances or show you what the progressions are that you have made, and remind someone, okay, this is what you're seeing. But the best diet is just one that you can stick with, to be consistent with. And that's honestly what I think, what most people think. It's a flashy change. It's nothing quote unquote difficult. They aren't hard changes. What gets to be hard is implementing things like, you have like your, kids are going off to school. You have to you have to cook for them. You're not getting sleep. You're trying to incorporate all the things in your day to day. And you're like, well, how am I supposed to keep all of that on schedule and take care of me? Exactly. And so that's where it gets to be the little things start to add up into like hard things that it can make it a little bit more difficult. But that's why I'm here.
Man, I love it. I love it so much. I'm going to say that so much because I just do. I just love it. And this is such a dope experience for me as well, because I do a lot of interviews, but the majority of the people that I interview are in the entertainment business some way, somehow, whether they're performers, whether they're managers, labels, whatever. So to be able to speak with you and just this is just a whole different thing for me. So I appreciate you, and I'm sure everyone who watches this are going to feel the same thing.
Yeah, thank you. And the only thing else I tell you, Blaze, is listen to your body.
Yes.
When your body is telling you, hey, I need rest, it's not lying. I think as humans, we get to that point where
I've been
like
feeling it.
I'm going to ignore the messages. Like, our bodies are made, they're perfect. Scientifically, they run like amazing machines. Our bodies do it all for us.
Yes.
And so I think when your body is like, hey, I'm in pain, okay, you've got to notice that. You have to make an adjustment, you really just have to listen to your body and be okay with making those changes, and giving yourself that compassion and grace to be like, okay, today is not going to be a day where I'm going to go out and run, 400 meters and like my best PR time. Okay. I'm happy I showed up today, but my ankle hurts and I'm feeling like this, or, so we just really have to work on listening to our bodies and, hearing it and being like, it's okay that like my body is sending these signals that something hurts, that I'm tired. If I'm tired, maybe that means that, I haven't been getting sleep. I've been working through this stress. There are a lot of things that go on in life that we just really, I think, put under the rug and pretend like, oh, we're just machines. We're just going to push through it. And there needs to be a little bit more self-love and understanding of what we are doing just to help internalize the messaging that we're getting to ourselves and put it outwards more positively.
Oh, that made me feel, you don't understand, it made me feel so much better, because there are 3 different times on this few month journey now that I've been on being consistent, where I was like, oh, my body's just not feeling it. And I'm like, all right, I'll tell myself, you know what? If my body's saying rest, rest. But I've been feeling like, oh, just, you hear those voices. Oh, you're slacking. You're slacking.
Hmm.
Oh, you didn't get your steps in today. You didn't get this in today. And hearing you
Yeah.
say that, you don't understand. It's just like a weight lifted. Because, yes,
Yes.
I'm like, I feel so much better about letting my body rest. And obviously, I get that there's a thin line from get into
Yes.
a place to where it's like, all right, I'm going to use this as a crutch.
Right.
But man, you don't understand. Thank
Just
you for
make,
saying that.
yeah, no, you're welcome. I mean, just making like little changes. And that's even with food and having cravings. What
Yes.
I do, I don't believe in strict restrictions. Of course, you have to make changes if you do
Yes.
want to achieve a certain body percentage. I'm not saying that like you're going
Uh
to
huh.
get
Yeah.
doing certain things. Of course, it's going to be harder to lose body fat if you're just eating
Yes.
burgers and fries every day or
Exactly.
something, but you definitely can. Um, it's just it needs to be in moderation, and I think that a lot of times we always think like it has to be 100% to be achievable,
Exactly.
and I honestly want people to know that I just want them to show up at least 75% for themselves, and even 10% will make a change. But
Yes.
if you can get to that point where you can really just hone in with the consistency about, I'd say like that 60% time,
Mm-hmm.
you will get
Mm-hmm.
there. It depends on how quickly you want to see changes, but it doesn't have to be 100% every day. And so it's just enough of a change, even if it's 10% a day, that will lead to something.
Oh, yes. Um, I failed so many times doing like a strict diet change, like
Hmm.
going like 100% instead of making like this last diet change. I think I did. The food change has been amazing.
Yeah.
It's things that it's healthier things I can enjoy, and I gotta give a big shout out to ChatGPT. Like there are a lot of people that are against AI, but I feel like I truly use it as an assistant. Like
Hmm.
when I first decided, all right, my birthday is getting ready to come up. I want to walk into 40 on point, but I want it to be. I didn't want it to be a super drastic, but I also wanted to be after the birthday. I can continue the lifestyle.
Right.
So I knew I had failed with food. So I'll go to certain places that I normally would go to, and I would just go to ChatGPT. All right, I'm trying to stick to this. If
Hmm.
I go to this restaurant, what can I get? And then it breaks down. Like I went to what was the restaurant? The Duffy's, the sports bar and grill, because I was in that area to film something. So I went there. They asked me. They told me exactly what to ask for, what to replace certain things with, so I wouldn't cheat what I
That's
was
great.
doing. And I was like, oh my god. So I found ways to enjoy the change. Still eating healthier, but still being able to enjoy it.
Yes, that's great because you do have to enjoy it. Like there cannot be I don't believe in being that restrictive at all because you will
Yes.
not stick with it long term. And what I want my clients to do is to have a plan in place that they can live through, that they can use for the rest of their lives. I don't want them to work
Yes.
with me forever. I would love for you to work with me forever, but it's not feasible. It's not somebody,
Yes,
people to
exactly.
feel like I need a coach forever. But I want to
Exactly.
coach my clients on how to win and succeed in their goals. And then it's like once you get to that point where you feel like,
Yes.
oh, I've got it, but it is a long-term process. And
Yes.
I say at least 3 to 6 months, depending on someone's background with food knowledge and understanding on where they are in their fitness and nutrition
Yes.
journey. Because it's different for everyone, right? But it is definitely obtainable and something that, I definitely work with people to understand like, yes, you're making switches. Hey, I might, you're not cutting out carbs, but instead of eating French fries with your, whatever meal,
Yes.
can you eat some rice or some potatoes?
Yes.
There's reasons our bodies crave these foods, and a lot of that has been villainized now. And a lot of people are like on this, no carbs, and now the skinny whatever's back on TikTok. I don't know. So it's
Oh.
just a lot of different, seasonal changes with society and what people want. But, I just want whoever works with me to be happy and feel like they're,
Yes.
able to maintain and sustain it long term so that they are not having to yo-yo back and forth. And I know it doesn't sound sexy because I can't sell you,
Yes.
abs in 20 days. I'm not that type of coach. So I'm not selling that.
Yes.
I'm here for somebody that wants sustainable changes and wants to know like their body isn't broken. There's nothing wrong with you. it's just learning what works for you. And sometimes through that process, there is trial and error. And you have to find out like, oh, hey, I can't eat dairy, or I was eating this and it was making me, gain more weight. Or if I eat something with cheese, I end up craving more things later. It's
Yeah.
all these little nuances, and listening to like what our body's saying and being like, okay, that's feedback. I'm going to take that information, and that's
Yes.
going to help inform me on how to go better forward and what I need to do on the next step and how I'm going to get there. Because I guarantee you'll get there. And I mean, your 20-pound weight loss so far, I mean, that's amazing. And congrats to you, because I know
Thank
it
you.
is not easy and
At
it's
all.
not fast. It's a lot quicker and sexier to gain that weight. I know it is, because that was when I gained my weight, I was like, this is great. I ate whatever, whenever, I didn't care.
Mm-hmm.
And then I started to feel it, and I was like, I can't even
Yep.
bend over to tie my shoes. Like,
Exactly.
what has happened to me?
Oh,
you know?
when I couldn't
And
fit in my suit, that's when I knew it was a.
yeah.
Oh, it was
Yeah.
horrible.
Yeah, so it's just those little things that, it's definitely achievable. And I want people to know that they can do it. There is not some special formula out there. It's
Exactly.
not like it's gate kept and you're made this broken person. And,
Exactly.
especially if you're a woman, you're just, something's wrong with you because you yo-yo back and forth between these, 5 to 10 pounds,
Uh
or
huh.
even as a guy, like you're just
Yeah.
struggling to figure out what you should eat, because we don't have good messaging in our society or marketing in general about like what are good things to
Exactly.
eat, and besides, hey, fast food, go out, get this, get that, eat this. And most of it's not obtainable to a normal person, and most people don't have the funds to go buy these fancy meal
Exactly.
plans, meal prep food, so I want someone to know, okay, I'm a regular person, I'm going to the grocery store, what do I need to get, how I need to eat,
Yes.
and it's sustainable, and they can build on their what skills they learn with me over time, so they can function and be prepared through the rest of their life to keep their weight loss going.
Man, you are freaking amazing. Number one, what I love about you is you remind me of me business wise. Like I provide marketing and songwriting and a lot of these different things. And the one thing that I always tell people when I first connect with them to sell them how I can market them or whatever, that like you said, this isn't, I'm not going to be the guy that's like, oh, you go viral in 10 days or whatever. At the end of the day, it's a journey. I always say it's like it's a mountain climb.
Right.
It's like everybody wants to be at the top of the mountain, but for whatever reason they assume that a helicopter flies you to the top. No,
Right.
it's climbing. And I don't know what world you got to be like from Wakanda or Asgard to be able to climb a mountain and it be pretty. Like it's excruciating,
Yeah,
so
work.
yes,
It's the work.
so I love that, and I love hearing you. I just know that Inked Barbell ain't just a brand; it's definitely a movement.
Yeah.
What was that aha moment where you was like, I don't just want to work out; I want to help others, especially women, reclaim their strength too.
Yeah, I think it's really just been, as I've been doing CrossFit, I've had more people kind of look up to me, or they would want to get advice from me on what they could do. And I think at that moment, I didn't really see myself as a leader. And I just kind of did give me that aha moment where I was like, you know what? Like, I was in their shoes too. I didn't see myself as they saw me, right? I still saw myself as this person that I'm new to this, I am green as grass. Like, I am just 6 years into CrossFit. Like, what do I know?
Yeah,
There's people been doing it for 15, 20 years.
yeah,
And I think once I realized that they saw me as like, oh wow, she's gotten to this point. I just really had to like step back and be like, I would really love to give back to make other women especially understand that they are capable and strong, and that there were so many days and so many times where I came in and I was scared, nervous, didn't feel sure that I could even do anything for that workout that day. But I
yeah,
had coaches that loved on me and poured into me and taught me what I
yes.
could do. And I just really wanted, and I want to give that back to them, because
I love it.
that made such a life change for me, that I wanted other people, and especially women, to know that they can do that. It doesn't
Yes,
have to be CrossFit, but I just want them to know that they can lift weights, that they can be strong, that we're not
yes,
doing the skinny stuff anymore. We're not shrinking away from life. So we are showing up as strong, capable women. And we're not worried about, the weight on a scale or something like that. I want them to love their bodies, and
Yes.
I really want to give that back is what that became my like big moment where I thought, oh, if I could just make them feel safe and that they're capable, like, I had great coaches make me feel, and if
Yes.
they could change their life and get to the place where I was like, this made me feel so good about me, I would just love to give that to people I work with.
I love it. I love it. I love it. I really, man, I love it so much. I mean, like for the women out there who feel invisible, for the ones who gave up on their bodies, who stopped dreaming, like, what would Jennifer today say to the woman you used to be? Like when you used to have that mindset and when you were there, like what would you today say to you if you were able to see her?
Yeah, I would definitely tell her to appreciate the journey and to understand that you will get there. And it's
Yes.
not so much worried about what you look like. You will come out at the end of this one way or the it's going to be amazing. But what
Yes.
part that you have to focus on is the journey and the mindset and loving on yourself hard and not looking for that external validation, but knowing that you can do it, you can do hard things. And at the end of that, there is this physique that you will achieve, but it's not the focus at the end of the day, right? It's
Yes.
not what you really look like because you're still worthy of love no matter what you end up looking
Yes.
like. I just want I would have told myself to enjoy that journey more and to trust the process.
Yes. Which in it, like you said, is definitely a process.
Yeah.
Yes, you've built this brand from pain,
Yeah.
from healing, from purpose. So where's Inked Barbell going next? Like, what's the legacy you want to leave with this movement?
Yeah, I just would love for women to know that they can just be strong and capable and change themselves however they want to make that change in their life. That I'm their accessible coach, that, I'm here for them, that they are able to do hard things. That we have to make those hard choices in life. We have to decide if this is what you want. If you feel
Yes,
that call to action, if you feel that fear to do something, I guarantee you that's your bot. That's God's word telling you, this is what you
yes,
need to be doing, even
yes,
when it's scary and hard. So I just want other people to know that they can do it because I was in that same place too, where I was
yes,
scared, nervous, didn't know direction. I just came, put one foot in front of the other, and just hope for the best. But I want them to know I'm a product of hoping for the best.
yes.
And this is what's come out of it for me. And I want to share that with others.
Yes. Oh, because I definitely was looking at the Instagram and I was like, I did have to get videos for the intro or whatever. I'm like,
Yeah.
my God. I was like, I'm looking at it. I'm like, why I would need like 8 people with me to lift that. That's insane. But I love it. I love it so much. And you said something that was really amazing too. That's God telling you. I always tell people it's so crazy. It's interesting how there are a lot of people, especially people that I know that are, I would say, that are heavy in the Christian community. That I don't hear they're struggling. I don't hear from God. I don't hear from God. I'm like, I say, I promise you, you hear from them all the time. I said, I give you a proof right here. You ever had that situation where you're like, something told me not to do that? I'm like, that was God. I said, you didn't hear him audibly, but you understood every single word, didn't you?
Yes, exactly. I think a lot of times we just, that internal voice sometimes, or that like this is the direction I want with my life, but I'm scared
Yes.
to get there.
Yes.
I think things are divinely put in front of us sometimes, and we don't listen to a lot of those messages, but that's okay. We just have to tune in. We can
Yes.
make, you're never too late. It's never too far gone. There's never a point where someone can't make a change. You're never too far gone. There's always hope. There's always hope.
Man, I can't wait for my mom to see this interview. She's been on her own journey. Like for years, she has been trying her best to stay consistent, to do things, and she's just never been able to. And this is the best stretch she's been on. And she's been just saying through the stretch how a lot of time it gets it gets discouraging. Like she came down to surprise me, which everybody got me for my birthday weekend. It surprised the hell out of me.
That's
But
awesome.
she came down and like my oldest sister, she cooked like amazing, and my mom couldn't eat none of it. Like she's really sticking to it, but she, she complained about it or whatever. And I know that her seeing this now being introduced to your platform, I know that it's going to be good, because it's not one of those things that, like you said, that are just flashy and telling you everything you said is encouraging. And since I know that she's already on the journey, it's just going to be a even bigger thing. So that just, you're amazing. You're definitely a blessing. I appreciate you so much. So before we get up out of here, the floor is yours for anything that you may have coming up or ways you want people to follow you. The floor is yours. Let them know.
Yeah, thank you, Blaze. So, yeah, just love to work with anyone that's interested in any nutrition coaching. And I don't just follow macro plans. So that's not even something that's on my mind unless you are an advanced athlete. Most of what I am looking at are sustainable changes through habit changes.
Yes.
So basically using template guides on how to look at a plate of food. You're looking at your protein, carbs, vegetables, giving someone like a grocery list. What are good foods look like? Which food should I be eating?
Yeah.
And also learning from them, like, what are their preferences? What do you like to eat? How can I'm not telling you to go eat like yogurt
Yes.
with blueberries. If you're like, I hate yogurt and blueberries, Jennifer, I don't want to eat that. I'm not going to tell you to eat that, right? We're going to find a plan, and it's going to be something we work together on. Like, I am your personal coach here, like I am here to support and help. Another way is measuring with your hand, because it's portable. You always have your hand with you, and it's
Yes.
your portion guide. And so, like in the case of your mother, I would also say that like food is cultural, and it brings families together. It's
Yes.
something that we love, right? And so this process is not about denying ourselves everything all the time either. And it's about working through those emotions behind the food, right? To
Yeah.
understand, if there are some things going on behind the scenes that we just don't know, like, oh gosh, I'm always wanting this or I'm wanting
Yes.
that. So I just want people to know that basically the changes that I'm working through with the nutrition are just using, basically, they're easy methods, I guess you could say. It's just
Yeah.
learning the process that can be a little bit difficult, or the habit changes with their
Yeah.
mindset. But that's what I'm here for. So it can be long term.
Yes. Look, man, y'all trying to get your life right, and you want to get it right the right way. Man, Jennifer Abney right here, man. Y'all see it. It's inked. I got the link right here at the bottom. As y'all can see how it's scrolling. You see that? You see the bottom? Yes. It's inkedbarbell.fitness. You go there. I already been through the site a million times. Like me and ChatGPT, which is my assistant, we already scammed through. You know what I mean? So definitely contact her, because I'm definitely going to. I already know my mom is. We're just amazing. You're amazing. I freaking love this. This is great. This has been another great episode of Welcome to the Dope Bar. Thank you so much. And everybody, we're out of this beast, man.
Thank you,
I love it.
Blaze.
Yes,
Appreciate
yes. And you guys always can catch this.
The most prestigious network in the land, the Signature Series Network.